What's up guys? In today's video, I'm gonna share my personal experience with the Redmi Note 10 with you, which I've been using for at least more than 3 months. So watch the video till the end to know the pros and cons before you slip out your money from your pocket. So let's get started. So firstly, let's start with the build and design. This time, the Redmi Note 10 comes with a polycarbonate back panel, and the design provided here looks pretty cool, but due to its glassy back, it can get scratched if you don't use a good quality case. But as always, Redmi has provided a clear case in the box, so at least for some time you don't have to worry. An interesting thing is that it packs a big 5000 mAh battery, which also supports 33 watt fast charging. But one thing I want to say, that even after having a big battery, they have managed to keep the phone as light as 178 grams and as slim as 7.8 mm. And I'm very happy to use a lightweighted phone in 2021 because companies have almost stopped making such handy phones, right? So I want to conclude this point by saying that if you're one who wants a comfortable, lightweight and slim phone, then you're good to go with this. Now talking about its display. It comes with a full HD plus 60Hz AMOLED display, and as you can see this time, they have moved the selfie camera to the center. So this Note 10 comes with a pretty handy and comfortable display size of 6.43 inch, and it's neither too big nor too small. Especially if you are comparing it with today's phone, this display has a pretty sweet spot. Now when it comes to usability in outdoor conditions, it gets very bright, and Redmi claims that its peak brightness can go up to 1100 nits. And I want to clear that it has a super bright display. But just because it has 1.1K nits brightness, that doesn't mean it's like or even close to the flagship displays. But I can very easily assure you that it's the brightest in the price range. Also, if you watch movies and series on Netflix and Prime, then it's going to feel amazing because of this bright AMOLED display. And this notch just disappears while you're watching anything. And due to this center punch hole, this gives a modern look and looks too good. Talking about the protection used on the display, it's Gorilla Glass 6. So it's a plus point, but never ever believe on those so-called Gorilla Glasses, because we all know that glass is glass and glass breaks. Anyways, this also supports full HD playback on OTTs like Prime and Netflix, and also supports HDR playback but only on YouTube. Although there is no high refresh rate, but it's a good AMOLED display, due to which you get that always on display feature. And as you can see that MIUI gives you a ton of features, but there is a catch, that this only works for 10 seconds on your screen and then automatically turns off. I think that they have played wisely because we all know that providing an AMOLED at this price is not easy, due to which they have might used a cheap display, and as you know that there is a screen burn problem in AMOLED. So to avoid that, they have set a limit. Anyways, I would prefer a good AMOLED display over any high refresh rate LCD. One last thing I want to clear is that if people have thoughts that is it a good and punchy as Samsung's display? The clear answer is no, because Samsung calibrates its color in a very boosted and punchy way, due to which colors looked oversaturated, but this display shows near to natural colors. If you don't like a boosted color, then it's going to be no problem. Honestly, ending this point by saying that it's a bang for your buck. And I would end this display department by giving it a 4 out of 5. Anyways, talking about its battery and charging, this phone packs inside a 5000 mAh battery, along with that you get a 33 watt fast charger to quickly juice up the battery. But this 33 watt fast charger feels more like a 18 or 22 watt one. Apart, its battery life is average even after having a big battery, but it will make through your day with medium to light usage after you need to plug it in. In short, it should last you around 6 to 6.5 hours of SOT. Talking about the charging speeds and time, ever after supporting 33 watt charging, it takes 1 hour 30 minutes to fully juice up the battery. For a 33-watt charger, it feels slow because if you look at other brands providing the same charger and battery are getting charged in an hour and some minutes. Some problems that I faced while charging is that after putting it to charge, within a few minutes, it gets heated. The temperature crosses the 40-degree mark, and in summer times, it has even crossed the 45-degree mark. I have never seen such a heated phone, and as it heats, it becomes uncomfortable to carry. You can feel the heat in your pants. So if you want a fast charging phone which doesn't heat, I would suggest you to skip this one and rather go with some Realme phones. So ending this part by giving it a 4 out of 5. Now let's talk about the most awaited part, the performance. This Note is powered by a Snapdragon 678 processor, which is a fairly powerful chipset in this price. Now you just can't complain about getting a very high performance at such a price. This scores around 2,64,000 in Antutu and Geekbench, and it handles day-to-day tasks, social media apps very smoothly, just like a champ. So no issues regarding that. This phone comes with 464GB of fast UFS 2.2 storage and LPDDR4X RAM, due to which opening, closing and installing apps are very fast, especially if you are planning to upgrade from an eMMC storage type phone, then it's going to feel blazing fast. Now quickly discussing about gaming, generally you don't get to see extreme performance, but in this case it's actually pretty good. You can easily play heavy games like Asphalt 9, COD and BGMI smoothly. The graphics settings which you will get in BGMI are Smooth plus Ultra, Balanced plus Ultra and maxes out a HD plus High, offering a good gaming experience. Although there are FPS drops, but mostly it works very smoothly at Smooth Ultra if you love to play COD and Asphalt. They can also be played without much hiccups and lags. One major problem that I faced was that it gets heated like a frying pan. Yes, it is, I'm not exaggerating it. Initially, the temperature remains normal, but after 15 minutes, it starts heating. Gets as heated as 48 degrees Celsius, and at times it has also touched 50 degrees Celsius. And you just can't touch the screen for too long. You can feel the burn, and naturally, a lot of FPS drops can be faced, which spoils the gameplay. Concluding, if you are a light user who does light gaming and mostly use daily apps, it's perfect for you. So I would give it a 4 out of 5 in terms of performance. Now let's have a look at the cameras. It comes with a quad camera setup, a 48 megapixel main camera, and this is equipped with a Sony IMX582 image sensor. And due to this sensor, the photos turn out to be clear, colorful, sharp and contrasting. The image seems pleasing to the eye and it justifies the price point. Here are some examples. In daylight, it's capable of taking some really good shots. The dynamic range seems to be okay, and at times the HDR mode doesn't work properly and the pics turn out to be over and underexposed. Coming to the ultra wide angle lens, which is an 8 megapixel shooter, and it seems to do a fine job considering the price range. There are also two 2 megapixel lenses, a depth and a macro. Still, I'm showing you some macro shots. Also, the 48 megapixel shots look good, and if you zoom into, you get a lot of detail. Now talking about the night photography, as expected, it doesn't seem to make any major difference. That's why I use Gcam to get some good night shots. Tell me in the comments if you want to use a Gcam. I will make a video on it. Now coming to the videos, they are also good. It can shoot up to 4K at 30 fps, 1080p at 60 and 30 fps, and 720p at 30 fps. But EIS provides decent amount of stability, so don't expect much. Now talking about its network connectivity, as you should know that this is a 4G device, and I have used both Airtel and Jio SIMs for the past 4 months, and I have received very good upload and download speeds. And you also get that Wi-Fi calling feature. So it's all good here. I would probably give it a 4.5 out of 5. Now coming to its speakers, this time you get dual stereo speakers in this device, and it's a very rare feature in this price range. So initially I was also overjoyed like you by just knowing that feature, but wait, after using it for 4 full months, what I can say you is that it is more like a gimmick feature, because it seems that if they have divided one speaker into two, although you physically get two set of speakers, but they sound just average, and in my case it's below average because it has a 80:20 ratio. That is, 80% volume comes from the bottom one and 20% comes from the upper one, and that too at 80 and 90% volume. Forget about stereo experience, I feel that at lower volume the second one doesn't work because it produces barely some sound. But if you turn it at 100% volume, then you can feel the loudness, but it loses its audio quality. So I'm going to tell that it's an average speaker even after getting dual stereo speaker, and I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 when it comes to the speaker. The last thing that I want to say is that people are nowadays more interested in the overall specs of a phone, like is it having a good processor, how many megapixels does it have, and much more. But that's where they make a little mistake, because all those things are determined and controlled by a good software. It all depends how your software is tuned for the hardware present in your phone. Even if your phone has a good processor, it won't work properly until there's a proper UI present in your phone. So choose wisely. The Redmi Note 10 runs MIUI 12 out of the box on top of Android 11. In the recent years, MIUI has improved itself in this particular price point devices, due to which it feels smoother as they have cut down things to make this UI lighter, and the MIUI on this Note is pretty much smooth and balanced. Well, we all know that MIUI and bugs have a very healthy relationship status, and undoubtedly this one also has some major and minor bugs. Talking about the major ones, after the latest update, most of the Google apps like YouTube, Google Photos, Gmail don't work properly with mobile data, but work perfectly with Wi-Fi. Some small bugs are that it automatically restarts when it's idle. My conclusion to this point is that this has a very decent software experience, apps work very smoothly, and also there are not any noticeable bugs, and I would rate its software experience a 3.5 out of 5. Now it's time for the final verdict. Let's keep things super clear. This device costs Rs 13,999 currently for the base variant, and I had purchased it for 12,500. So naturally question arises, is that the extra price worth paying? Then I would say definitely yes, as I have used it for 4 months, and I can tell you that if you want a budget-friendly smartphone which does everything with pretty much ease, then it would be a very good choice for you. And if you are planning to use it for 2 to 3 years, then it's going to be a great deal. So here ends our full review. Please like, share and subscribe for more such content, and I will see you in the next one.